before we go, like, can you connect with the person that you were before you had access to this information? Can you remember living a life where you didn't have this zeal, where you didn't have this certainty? Can you remember feeling like, oh God, I'm depressed today?
Oh yeah, I mean, I came from these valleys, depression and all. I know those ones. I lost my wife in '95. She jumped from an 8-story down.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, and he is my oldest son there. Enam is the oldest son. He was 11 at the time, and the youngest was like 7 years younger.
This is unimaginable pain. You lost your wife. They lost their
broken
mother.
hearted. And you know what? She had schizophrenia. Yeah, as they called it, and they put all kinds of injections into her and antidepressives, and she only got worse. So that is my burden. That is my start of my journey deeply within to seek solace, to seek solutions. I wasn't aware of that. I was only brokenhearted and having little money and have 4 kids to bring them up by myself. And no wife around me. I mean, the love of my life. Beautiful lady, very lusty in life and beautiful. She was beautiful. Look at him. Is he handsome little guy?
Handsome young man there.
And I got 3 more, man. And I got 2 daughters and 2 sons. And they are all very handsome and pretty and this and that. She was very pretty and very alive. But then this terrorist in the mind. And then regular healthcare. With all their knowledge, all the doctorships and professorships and whatever they got in knowledge, just got worse. And she jumped. She gave it a kiss to the little babies before she went. She was very conscious of what was. It was a real terrorist, a real terror. And that terror now we are able to tackle. I found as a dropout of school, in my journey since then, finding and looking into nature, the cold brought me stillness in my mind. The breathing brought stillness, like control over the emotion. And then I did many records, and then the scientific world came to me. And they began to experiment, and now I have come in connection with the psychiatrists in the world and the best top researchers on the DNA, the best ones, as a dropout of school, and I'm showing them how to go and tap into the deepest part of the brain and to learn to re-regulate anything that deals with our mood, which means depression, psychosis, bipolar, schizophrenia, trauma, fear, anxiety.
Yes.
So anything of those we are able to tackle. This is my message. It comes from a broken heart. And now it is full circle. We got the knowledge. It came from nature, and nature has the answers, whereas the books are failing, and the system is failing. And we got this message now for you. And this is my podcast with you. You go also very fast past all the perceived limits and the conditioned mind within this system. You are a true seeker, and thus we find true findings. And this is one.
This is good stuff. Thanks, Wim Hof.
Thank you.
What about, how did you, may I say, I feel that we have established that you have discovered something that is very powerful. I feel that we have established that this is something that can be conveyed to other people, that it's not just an anomaly, a quirk. It's something that we can all learn, and we can perhaps think about how to make this information accessible and simple and useful to a number of people with all sorts of different abilities and all sorts of different challenges. It's interesting for me to think about the moment of inception being one of loss and pain, and the sort of ordinary tragedy of losing somebody to suicide and manic depression or schizophrenia. How then, prior to these techniques, did you survive? As a father, how did you deal with grieving children? How do you deal with that? How did you deal with that? What was the process?
with the grieving children, I was just being with them. But the children made me survive. Nature healed me. That it is. You can't think. You gotta be. I remember every weekend after during the night, they came to my bed, and we slept all the 5 together like a nest. And it closes. It's naturally that it closes, that it becomes a nest again, a place of safety. And without thinking, you just do it. You are simply there for them, 100%. And the loss, later, I began to work on my broken heart. But there was no time of dealing with the broken heart or the feeling, because 4 children are very demanding. But beautifully, also because they don't let you think too much about your sorrows and your grief.
Also, it seems for me that you instinctively use thought, as most people understand it, merely as a means to communicate and articulate deeper experiences. Even when we were in the river, and I was in the river, I was cold, like I'm telling you, right, okay, I'm cold now. You're saying, I was expecting you were going to say, right, breathe in through the right nostril, block the left nostril, now exhale through the mouth. Now hold, pull the Mula Bandha, tighten Adhyana Bandha. I was thinking, it's going to be very prescriptive. But you said instead, no, just be in the cold, and then
let your body do what the body is able to do.
And in this moment, I recognized that. As I said to you also, what shall I do? Where shall I put the attention? Don't put it nowhere. Don't put the attention nowhere.
Yes.
Other things I remember from this brief experience, when we were doing is that Tai Chi we were doing on the shore? What were we doing?
No, it just came up with that.
You came up with that. Actually, improvised Tai Chi.
Actually,
I don't know what that was. I was just moving around.
Once I had no toilet and I had to do my poopy. So I had to stand in this awkward position. They call it a horse stance, the Shina Bandha Bumba posture, asanas, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
The thing is, I lately did it for 3 hours, barefoot in the snow. And you know what? In 3 days, I do it with anybody in the snow, barefoot, standing in that awkward horse stance,
yes,
which activates the adrenal axis.
So when did you know that it actuates the adrenal?
Well, when you go into the cold, you learn.
It's interesting, mythically.